Hello, class. This is a introduction for our next big project. It's going to be the biggest project of the semester so far, and it's going to be worth a big percentage of your grade. And I don't mean that to scare you. I just want you to say this is pretty important. I think it's going to be a great assignment. So anyhow, I earlier introduced the artist Shepard Fairey. He's the one that did the Obama Hope poster that became very famous. And let me show you some other work that he's done that I call iconic poster collage art, okay? So we're gonna take a look at some of that. So here's a picture of Shepard Fairey standing in front of those posters that he made, and that's what he looks like. Here's some other posters he made, and you'll see these other posters are very similar. And you're gonna see a common theme. Most of them have some type of social message he's trying to get with these images. Now, if you look at the woman on the right over here, it says defend dignity, and she's got a symbol on her shirt here. Now, you're gonna see another version of that, and here we have what I call collage art. So what he's included in this is typed messages, typed words and phrases and symbols like this eagle, and there's a phrase here, and maybe that rose symbolized something, and there's some images up here. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna be designing your own poster based on some of his posters. And you notice he has a color scheme. This one's dominated by blue and red. You might have a totally different color scheme. So let me show you some of his art. And here is that same image here, the girl on the right. Here she is in a collage poster, and here she is in a mural, okay? So you'll see common, for example, colors that are repeated like the red. You'll see dark blues repeated. Notice they're balanced, and you'll see patterns that are repeated, okay? So it's pretty common in his posters, and we're gonna do something similar, only they're gonna be your posters that you're gonna design with your message in mind, okay? Here's some more posters I'm gonna go through. Now, this is on YouTube. At any time you want to view some of these up close, you can look them up in Google Images. But if you find a poster that you really like, you can design yours. It's not going to look the same, but you might like it horizontal, or you might like it vertical. You might like a lot of print or a little print. You might like multiple images and multiple symbols. So these are some really, I just love some of this art. So what you're going to be doing, which I feel pretty excited about, is you're going to find your own image, and you're going to create an image like this, just like we did with the Obama poster thing, is you're going to create it for using your own image and turn it into that 3 or 4 or 5 value color image, okay? And I'll talk a little bit more about that. So here's one that's vertical instead of horizontal. Our posters are going to be roughly the same size the other ones, about 14 inches by 20 inches. And if they're really great, who knows, we might make them into a mural. So here we go with some more ideas. Now they're not all like this, just happen to do a series of posters that are like this. But you can kind of get some hints as what they're about. Like, for example, look at the message right down here. Okay, what does that think about? What could that possibly be referring to? And we'll talk about it in class, but this is called the quicker version that I give you here. This has something to do with human rights. I am a man. You have a African American here. Don't know what this is all about, but he's got a saying up here: strength in service, strength to overcome. This looks like the Red Cross symbol, or it could be Switzerland, I'm not sure. Not sure what this is all about. Obviously, this has something to do with peace and war, with the roses and the guns. I think this has something to do with the environment. It's being sarcastic. These sunsets are hard to die for. And obviously, the colors that he chose don't look very welcoming. Okay? This one, obviously, it's a political one. He's critical of former President Bush. It says hug bombs and drop babies, or was it hug babies and drop bombs? So he's being kind of funny and sarcastic, portraying Bush in this black and white image. Make art, not war. This one has to do with freedom of speech. He did have like a brand he called Obey, And I don't know what's all behind that, but never trust your own eyes, believe what you are told. He's making a statement, I don't know about society or people or politics, not sure. Here's one I think has something to do with an environment. We have an inspector. He's got his gas mask on and he's checking out a rose. This is not his poster, but I think there's a real similarity between some of these posters. This is a communist poster from China. Looks like it's quite a bit old, but we're using these really bold images. And I don't know what they're holding in their hands there, but here we have one of a Russian poster from former Soviet Union. This looks like a Chinese poster again. Looks like the workers or artists or writers. Okay, this looks Eastern European, but they have a similar look. There's a boldness about them, and these images look iconic. Okay, what about this one? The revolution is now, vote red. This is an advertisement for M&Ms, but they're giving it a sarcastic look by making it look like sort of a communist revolution poster. So the posters don't all have to be serious. They can be funny and sarcastic. Now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to pick a theme, and you're going to have all your messages going to be within that theme. Now, your theme could be a social theme. Talk about some social things that you believe in. Could be a political theme. Could be a historical theme. And some of those overlap. Sometimes you have themes that are social and political, and sometimes political and historical. And they could be personal. You could have personal beliefs that are historical, personal beliefs that are social, or they could just be personal beliefs, something about your life or people that you know and so on, okay? For example, my son is a cop for the city of Madison, and I've got some personal beliefs about police work that I might do something that has to do with the police. Religious beliefs or humorous, but for this assignment, I don't want to see any Trump or Biden theme. I think right now we're in the middle of this campaign, and I just like to stay away from anything that's controversial as far as I just think that's be inappropriate right now, okay? Collect a file of images, okay? This is what you're gonna do. You must have a main image, okay? And you're gonna do that main image in that Obama Hope style. We're using a couple values, a couple different colors. You have to have type somehow. The type could be slogans, taglines, quotes, newspaper articles, lines from literature or movies, okay? Symbols, you have to have some symbols in there. The symbols could be emblems, logos, or personal symbols that you invent. A color palette, you have to pick out colors that will reflect the mood or feel of your art. And last, you have to include either patterns, textures, or designs. You can and must manipulate any of the images you find. You can find all these images, but you have to somehow make them your own by manipulating them, changing them, adding them, or creating your own, okay? Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna convert a photo to color values. You already know how to do that from our last assignment. Here's an example of somebody took a picture of their dad or uncle or grandpa or something and converted them to this. Here, their little sister and converted to this, and they actually made something sarcastic, president in 2042, okay? Here is taking a famous person, Johnny Depp, and creating a poster. And what I like about this, I almost like this really close-up cropped image better than the whole head. So think about how you're gonna crop or use that image in your poster. Now here's some examples. Oh, another thing, decide on a color palette. Here's the one I did of Leonardo da Vinci, and I also did two more, and I did those in a different color scheme. Okay, so replace the dark blue in this place with a really dark burgundy, or in this case with a purple. So you're still gonna find a range of colors that have a range of values, and I'll show you how to do that. So you might like these colors or these colors, but you are gonna have to at one point convert those colors. Here I converted these into black and white, and you can see these two colors are almost exactly the same when you convert them to gray, which means I need to lighten one of these so it gets a little bit lighter. So I might alter one of these colors. But right now, that's what they did for the Obama poster. We decided there was a navy blue, then a red, then a medium blue, then a light blue, then a beige. So where you could use different colors for yours, okay? These are just examples of images you might use. Historical, political, here's Ronald Reagan. If it's social, here's a police officer. Here's a soldier. This is Frederick Douglass. He was an abolitionist in the Civil War against slavery, and it's really an iconic photo. And these are some personal ones. This might be, you might have that one that's it's just about your life and you choose to use your dog or a pet or an image or somebody petting a dog. Here is a picture that of a fellow that I know was a coach here at Slinger, and he died of cancer. And this is kind of a memorial we were doing of him for a t-shirt. So maybe you're going to take someone's image and create a memorial poster that says something about their life or what they stood for. Or you could use a religious theme. This is a real famous painting of Jesus. Maybe that's converted into Obama-style poster. And here's a picture of Jesus of the Sacred Heart, which is a pretty iconic image, okay? You can manipulate images. I found this image of a woman putting bread in the oven. I found an image of this huge, ugly bug, and I didn't do a very good job photoshopping it, but you could create your own image by manipulating images you find, okay? Recognizable symbols. You can have some recognizable symbols in there. Obviously, these are symbols that people know. Obviously, this is Christianity. This is Jesus. Here we have an American eagle, a peace sign. Here's another peace sign. And this is a symbol that goes on airplanes that are in the Air Force. So those are pretty recognizable symbols. I didn't invent those, but you can manipulate them. For example, the American eagle here, I manipulated just 6 different ways to show you some of the things you can do. I turned it to black and white. Here I turned it to a black and white, but I used red values and I put a gold background. Here I went with a blue value. Here I went with black and white, but included some areas of colors. And here I got rid of the dark outline by making the background that same color. Look at the difference between like these two. They look very strikingly different. That's how you can manipulate images, okay? Personal symbols. Now, you can have symbols that are personally has something to do with you. My son, I told you, he's a Madison police officer. So maybe I'm going to use the badge from the Madison Police Department. You might use something that just you made up. Like, for example, you find a tiger and say the tiger represents fierceness or beauty. And I'm going to include that in mine as a symbol. Or you could find a symbol that already is made. So you could take this and convert this into colors. Or you could find one that's already a graphic image, like this fish. So maybe you like fishing, and you could convert this. These are just something pretty simple. These are 2 variations of the symbolized watermelon. You think, what a watermelon? Well, I like watermelon, so that's a personal thing to me. It could mean something to you, okay? Inspirational quotes. Here's an example of some inspirational quotes that you could use in there, part of it or some of it, okay? You can read those on your own. Taglines or slogans. You can use common taglines from products and things in your ideas. Okay, think difference, finger looking good, just do it. Eat away your feelings. Okay? You can use quotes from movies. These are just movies I found and quotes from different movies. Now, depending on what you're doing, obviously this looks like it has to do with conflict and slavery. This is obviously it's a crime movie. This is Lord of the Rings, and this is Harry Potter. Okay? Newspaper, magazine print. If you were doing something historical, look at some of these magazine titles and then some of the wording and photos that go with them. So think about print that you could find and you could use that in your collage. Also, patterns or designs. Tons of patterns on the internet you can find, and you can manipulate those, change them, put them in the background, make them any color you want. And you can also create your own patterns by taking pictures of things like this and changing those on Illustrator and making those into your own patterns or textures that you might use in part of your poster. So your assignment is going to be to first, you got to come up with a theme. What is the theme that is going to be behind your idea? Okay, social, political, historical, personal, religious, humorous. Your first part of the assignment is going to be come up with that theme. Next, you're going to list everything you can think of with that theme that falls into the main image. Different type or wording you're going to use, symbols you're going to include, the colors you're going to use, the patterns and textures. So to start, come up with the idea. Second, you start getting a bank of images and a file of those, and you store them on the computer so you have things to use and play around with and manipulate, okay? Get as many as you can because you don't know which ones you're actually going to use in your final product. So that's it. Thanks.